Welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to be replacing the clutch master cylinder and then bleeding the hydraulic clutch system. So let's start with getting the master cylinder on first. Okay, so just got some new aluminium washers because I've put that on and off a couple of times. I don't think I've ever bled a hydraulic clutch before, but I'm guessing it's very similar to bleeding brakes. So I've already topped up the brake reservoir. That seemed to come out very quickly. I think it might have just had old brake fluid in the pipe. When you're starting afresh, bleeding the brakes or the clutch, I find it seems to take quite a long time for fluid to get through. It almost seems like nothing's happening. And in this case, nothing was happening. I just couldn't build up any sort of pressure at the clutch lever. So I decided to change tactic and try some reverse bleeding. It's a method that I've used once or twice on mountain bike brakes. I think you can use it, and I think I have seen it used on motorbikes. So using a syringe, we're just going to get rid of some of the old brake fluid that's in the master cylinder. And then with a syringe full of new brake fluid, we're going to try and push it backwards through the system. So now using gentle pressure when you're pushing the plunger down on the syringe, as not to cause the brake fluid to come shooting out of the master cylinder. Hopefully now you can see the brake fluid bubbling up in the master cylinder. So again, using the syringe to suck out the excess brake fluid from the master cylinder, and then refilling it to push more brake fluid back through the system. Notice I'm trying to get all the air out of the syringe before I reconnect it. So keep reintroducing clean brake fluid into the system, and when you're happy, put your diaphragm back on and put the cap back on the master cylinder. Okay, job done. That feels quite firm. So even though the reverse bleed was quite successful and the clutch lever felt quite firm, it still wasn't operating the clutch properly. So I decided to take the master cylinder apart, and this is what I found. It appears to have years and years of congealed brake fluid, obviously due to bad maintenance. So what I'm going to try and do is clean these up and put it back together. Like I said, we're currently in the midst of the coronavirus lockdown, so I'm struggling to get parts. So the thing I can do is try to clean things and see if I can get them back together and see how it works. Okay, so I've had these parts soaking overnight. Like I say, we're in the middle of a coronavirus lockdown at the moment, so getting parts is quite difficult. So hopefully we can salvage this. Let me see. I can't see why not, as long as the rubbers are in good condition. Okay, so there's no saving the original internals of the clutch master cylinder. I just couldn't get the rubber back in. Maybe once it comes out and it's expanded, it's just difficult to get back in. So we'll have a try. I've managed to get hold of another kit, which is a bit of a shame really, because I cleaned the other one up quite nicely. You know, this was the internal parts, so I got them all looking quite good. But hey ho. So let's have a look what we got on the packet. Okay, so a little pot of probably red rubber grease. Cool. So we need to get this together in that fashion. So what we're going to do, we'll just lube the rubber bits up. A small amount of grease. And hopefully this will slide in better than the original one tried to.
So that's gone in, and it's gone in a damn sight easier than the original one, so good. So maybe once these are apart, that is it. Okay, so we've got to get the washer on. And then the circlip, which is a little bit more difficult. Also, I've adapted these quite cheap circlip pliers. I've put a section on and then bolted another section to it to give me some sort of reach. I think you can get specific pliers for this. This is going to struggle. Might be better off trying to get it in just with a screwdriver.
So I've got the master cylinder back on the bike, and this is now starting to turn out into a long drawn out affair. You can see now as I'm pressing the lever that it's not returning properly, so there seems to be something wrong internally. So again, I'm going to have to take it back off the bike and take another look at it. Easier. All I did there was sharpen up an old set of long pliers. Okay, so that doesn't seem a problem. It seems this is. Now that's the new spring and that's the old spring, which seems a lot firmer and a little bit longer. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to put the old one back in. I'll give this a little bit more of a clean. So I'll just get a little bit of wet and dry. Wrap the wet and dry around an old pencil. Something thicker than that. Let's see if this will do. Yeah, looks better. Also try to make sure that this pinhole is clear. There's a little air hole there, and then you've got the bigger hole for brake fluid to go through. So just make sure the air hole is clear. It's a very small hole.
There we go, it is literally a pinhole, so that pin will not go through. Hopefully now it'll work better. So we're going to put this original spring back in, put on the new rubber. I'm not going to worry about red rubber grease so much, maybe a little bit actually.
So as you can see, the sharpened pliers seem to work much better to get the circlip in and out.
Okay, that seems so much better, and I don't think it's much to do with the cleaning of the bow, because I barely cleaned it. I just think that spring's a bit weak and slightly shorter than the other one. Okay, so hopefully this is the last time we'll take it apart. Definitely feels a lot better. That's working really, really well. Cool. Okay, it should all work now, and that's much, much better. So I think it was definitely that spring was the problem. So theoretically, you shouldn't take a lot of bleed in now, because I back bled the brakes, or reverse bled the brakes.
So with the spring in the rebuild kit being a little bit weak and a little bit small, I would recommend you don't buy this kit. Probably get one from the main dealer, might be a better option, even though it's a bit more expensive. So an original part. It's just a shame you can't get the internal rubbers separately, because there's nothing wrong with the spring or the piston. So to finish this job off, I attempted to bleed the clutch in the conventional manner, but it seems it liked the back bleed method better. It seemed to work much easier. So if you're going to do this yourself, back bleeding seems to work. So after a lot of messing about, we eventually got a good result with the clutch lever. So if you enjoyed that video, please hit like, subscribe to the channel and share.